Part of Nigeria, a quiet revolution is brewing. The Igbo people, known for their grit and entrepreneurial spirit, are awakening to a new dawn. For decades, they've been players in the Nigerian economy, but spectators in its politics. This morning, a clarion call is here. What do Igbo people want? Is it a seat at the table or a restructuring of the table itself? I'm joined this morning on Straight Talk by Chief Dr. Chekwas Okorie. He is a champion of Igbo resurgence. You join us this morning as we unpack the Igbo Agenda Dialogue, the bold quest for unity, strength, and strategic participation. And like we'll say, that Igbo voice is rising, but where is it headed? So that's why we're here, to have that conversation. One thing is to talk. But the question is, onye ka ị na-agwa? And secondly, who is listening? Onye na-ege ntị? Welcome to Straight Talk this morning. My name is Alex Ogbodo, and we have the privilege of having Chief Chekwas Okorie, Ojozi Igbo worldwide, in the studio with me. Good morning, sir. Thank you for joining us. Ojozi Igbo.
Good morning, and thank you very much.
So, a lot has happened to Igbo. I think that the closest Igbo may have gotten to maybe having a shot at what everybody will call their rightful place in Nigeria was when Tik became Governor General and later President General and ceremonial president, if you like. And then Alex Ogbodo became Vice President in 1979. And at that time, too, there were a number of Igbos who held prominent positions within the National Assembly. It looked like 1979 was the best shot in terms of dominance of Igbo people at the highest level of Nigerian politics. So now that we have a situation where it looks like it's a taboo for an Igbo man to dream. So what is it that Igbo are supposed to do to find their voice again and maybe find their path back to that table, if there is a table? It looks like it's a proverbial table. So what is it exactly that the Igbo Agenda Dialogue is about?
Thank you for the opportunity, and may I even begin by saying Happy Easter to the members of AFIA 99.3 FM and to your esteemed listeners. The Igbo history in Nigeria has been a checkered one, especially their political history. Let us not forget that it was our own son and leader, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, that championed the struggle for the independence of this country. And others followed. But he was the leader, he was the face of Nigeria. He became actually known as Zik of Africa. In other words, going beyond the boundaries of Nigeria. And that was the extent of Igbo relevance. He became the Igbo personified. And the independence was gotten without shedding any blood. And the same Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, for the interest of Nigeria's unity, because of course, let us not forget again, he was born in Zungeru, and his father was already there before his conception and birth. So his exposure in the north, his exposure in the west, and being an able person made him to think of Nigeria as a nation, not the way Awolowo, Chief Awolowo saw Nigeria, not the way Sir Ahmadu Bello saw Nigeria. And so his own perception of Nigeria was a bit different. And when it's important to mention that when this independence struggle was on, the North was not ready for it. The North did not want independence. And but he himself and his political leader at the time, Dr. Herbert Macaulay, traversed most of the North to convince them on why there must be independence. And so we had it. And eventually, the North took the driver's seat. But that didn't leave Igbo people empty-handed. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe became the president after being the Governor General of Nigeria, and upon independence became the president when Nigeria became a republic.
Ceremonial president,
yeah,
if you like.
So now we went on in the election that took place in the First Republic. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe had become the leader of the NCNC, and through his own instrumentality, he got the Igbo State Union to show interest in the NCNC, which was actually founded by Dr. Macaulay, a Yoruba man. But the moment the Igbo State Union came into the NCNC, and with the stature of and the political savvy of Dr. Azikiwe, Igbo people immediately took over NCNC. And so many people would think, oh, it was an Igbo party. But that was how it all happened. And we coalesced on that platform. And the MPC, the Northern People's Congress, that the Samadu Bello and Tafawa Balewa headed, could not win enough seats to form government at that time. And they had to reach out to the NCNC for a coalition. That coalition government gave us respectable place in the government of the First Republic, not just in terms of appointment, but in terms of developments. In fact, many people may not know, like it is happening now that some people are asking for a Anyoma state and they want it to be in the southeast. There's something near like that of the struggle today had happened before. In 1963, the Western region had 9 provinces. Eastern region had 12 provinces, and the North had 14 provinces. The Western region chief, Dennis Osadebe, the what you call today deputy national chairman, but he was then vice president, that was what it was called, of NCNC. Being an Igbo man from the present Anyoma, they went struggling for the creation of a Midwestern state. Chief Obafemi Awolowo and his action group saw it as taking away their control of 9 provinces, because what was going to be used for that creation was Delta and Edo provinces, leaving the West with 7. And it was that relationship between NCNC and MPC that made it possible for a plebiscite to be held, and that plebiscite was approved in favor of the creation of Midwestern State.
And is that looks like the only plebiscite we've had in the country?
That was the only plebiscite we have ever had in the country. And that was what brought about the creation of a Midwestern region. And Midwestern region will never have been possible except the Igbo gave its weight behind it. The same thing is happening now. So it's just history about to repeat itself. So, but in the Second Republic, something happened. Every political Igbo leader, by then, of course, the war had come and gone. And this feeling of being conquered, this feeling of not carrying on with our pride, self-esteem had kicked in. And so most of our leaders jumped into the NPN. It became the National Party of Nigeria. And as that was going on, Igbo people became more comfortable with being running mate instead of running for president. This is where our problem began to deteriorate. Dr. Alex Ogbodo, as you earlier mentioned, became the running mate of Alhaji Shehu Shagari of the MPN. A.G. Koko became the running mate of Madam Aminu Kano of PRP. Chief Philip Umadi became running mate of Chief Obafemi Awolowo of the UPN. And Dr. B.U. Zeribe became a running mate of Alhaji Waziri Ibrahim of GMPP. So Zik didn't think it was right that Igbo people will now be comfortable with taking the second fiddle. And he had already announced that he had withdrawn from partisanship, just like I have announced publicly last year that I have withdrawn from partisanship for the role I'm playing now. So, but when Dr. Ezekiel saw his own people being comfortable with the second fiddle role, he came back. And many asked him, why did you come back? He said he was entitled to change his mind. And he went to the MPP. And people also asked him, why not the MPN that was already huge in terms of membership and a coalition of leaders? He said his people would be better off being majority in a minority party where their voices would be heard, instead of being minority in a majority party where they will be absorbed without trace. If you analyze that, you will understand what Dr. Ezekiel meant. So he went to MPP and became presidential candidate. Igbo people coalesced on that platform. The Igbo support for MPP was so massive that in that election, a candidate of MPP for Federal House of Rep in Ohozara Federal Constituency died just before the election. There was no more time to replace him. But that dead person won that election. That is to underscore the way Igbo people responded. So MPN was unable to win enough seats to form a comfortable government. They returned to MPP. If Zik was not there, there will be nobody to negotiate with. As we are missing him now. Whatever anybody will say about him, we are missing him because we are yet to have another.
Absolutely.
He led MPP to an accord with MPN, and we had Dr. Alex Ogbodo as speaker. As a result of that accord, Dr. Alex Ogbodo was the
vice president.
Was the vice president, and Chief Edwin Umezuoke was the speaker from MPP. That combination has never repeated itself among Igbo again, where an Igbo man will become vice president and an Igbo man will be speaker of the House of Representatives. So things began to degenerate further to the point that we've now reached that we are described as a dot in a circle by a former president, the late President Muhammad Buhari. We have degenerated a point that any Igbo man will do what other people are doing in his own will be totally deferred. It will be regarded as subversion. And I'm referring to the case of Nnamdi Kanu. There's nothing that he has done that any reasonable Igbo man who is bothered and worried and angry with the situation of his people will not do. And those who are doing the same thing in other races, in other tribes, in other sections of the country are doing it and they are not being oppressed. But here he is, incarcerated. The worst is that we are no longer respected. So we are right now completely irrelevant.
Yes, well, Ojoz Ndibo, what led to the decline of the place of Ndibo in Nigeria before we get to what we need to do?
Yes, there was a number of factors, really. The fact that some of our people began to deny even their own identity. I told you how we, on our own volition, began to ask for second fiddle position until Zik tried to correct it, and now there's no more Zik. There's not another Zik. Then people began, and out of the anger, I remember that my friend came up And the idea of Maswab was that we shouldn't even participate in census of that 1976. And that hurt us badly. Because the number that was posted as Igbo population that time almost created the impression that we are so small. Whereas we are the largest ethnic nationality in this country, largest by far. 99% of Igbo people occupy the southeast. Igbo people make up at least second largest population in every other state in Nigeria, second only to the indigenous population. So we began to withdraw. Then that also went further. Because Nigeria did not seize every, when I say Nigeria, I'm talking about the ruling class. They seized every opportunity to deny us everything that we are supposed to get like other people. We are never asked for anything special, but just treat us the way you treat others. Whether it is in the civil service, in the military, in anything, even in business. Look at the coastal seaports that have been so abandoned. So, and people are not speaking out. Instead, you see your political leaders telling you that the person who is oppressing them is their savior. So most of our people felt that we just have nobody to speak for us anymore. So the feeling, the attitude of surrender set in, and that surrender resulted to our non-participation even in the electoral process. And some of our young men and women, where you have the population to make a difference, because people my age are dwindling in number. We can't even, I don't know how many ballot boxes we can fill. If we're, as I'm 73 now, if I say all the 73-year-olds or 70s to come and vote, I don't know how many ballot boxes we can fill. So the young men are the people who can salvage the situation, but they are no longer interested. And who is the loser? They are also the loser. And I said, we cannot continue like this. We must find out what exactly our people want. We don't want to be in a situation where somebody will wake up and say, Igbo people want this, Igbo people want that. Who did you consult? Because I also remember that before Biafra was declared, General Odumegwu Ojukwu convened a meeting of Eastern Nigerian Consultative Assembly. That meeting was made up of traditional rulers, that we call a Council of Chiefs. My father was a member, being the traditional ruler of Alai, Igbo Jakro, from the local government area where I come from. The civil labor union, the intelligentsia, market association, town unions, and all of those groups in Eastern region. Their leaders were assembled in Enugu to take a joint decision as to what we will do under the circumstance we found ourselves at that time. It was a joint decision that we had reached a point where we should leave Nigeria and get our own Republic of Biafra. That Biafran name was actually suggested by Chief Opigo from Bayelsa State, and it was adopted. It was in that meeting, people may know, that consultative assembly felt that General Ojukwu, who was then a lieutenant colonel, cannot continue to represent Biafra as a lieutenant colonel. It was by motion that he was promoted to a general. People don't know that is why he was called the People's General. There was no military council that made to promote him general. It was the entire Eastern region that made him general. So that was the level of consultation before Biafra was announced. And that led to our coming together to defend ourselves for 30 good months in spite of being denied assistance by all the world powers for economic reasons. So we said, therefore, this time has come that we need to go to our people and say, what do you really want? If restructuring Nigeria will make you happy, is that what we want? If leaving Nigeria and forming Biafra is what we want, how do we do it? Because today, war, if you are doing it by referendum, as some people say, is referendum or nothing. You cannot participate in a referendum without your voter's card. Because the only thing that qualifies you to participate in a referendum is that you have attained the age of 18 to be able to decide where you can go or not go. That is the standard. And the standard for voter registration is 18. So if we say we're having referendum today, how many people who want Biafra will even participate? So these are things we want to take to our people in all the 36 states of Nigeria. At any point, we will put together the views by rapporteurs of every state we have gone to. And we intend to finish it before the next election. And then produce a compendium. And that will show us what Igbo people really want. And when we come out with it, we will show it. I give you, before I perhaps wait for the questions to come. One of the most disturbing things, and I think people should know this, for those who don't know already. We had our son, Mr. Peter Obi, who came out in 2023 and was able to mobilize support. His popularity spread across Nigeria, to the surprise of many of us. And we said that another Zik is rising to present us again at the national stage. And that election took place. INEC registered by their record 11.5 million registered voters in the Southeast geopolitical zone. That again was the least number of registered voters among the geopolitical zones. But how many people voted? For all the presidential candidates, Tinubu, Atiku, Opanso, Obi, 2.2 million votes. That is INEC record I'm putting here. Now, what does that tell us? That 9.3 million Igbo people who registered did not participate in that election. But 12 years earlier, in 2011, this same Southeast gave President Jonathan close to 6 million votes. So if we had given Mr. Peter Obi the same number 12 years later, which ought to have even been more, why wouldn't he have been the president today? So these are some of the things, the facts, the statistics, the logic we want to present to our people. We are not going to give anybody any lecture. We are going to ask, in fact, to be lectured by them. And they will now write it down, put it together, and move from there. But I think Igbo people, being the sleeping giant, will be woken up this time.
So the simple question to Ndibo, yes. We'll take a break here on Straight Talk. We'll take a commercial break. When we return, we will hear from Ojoz Ndibo and then take some of the calls from those listening to us. Stay tuned. You're welcome back. This is still Straight Talk here on After Radio 99.3 FM. My name is Alex Ogbodo. I still have my special guest today, Chief Chekwas Okorie, Ojozi Igbo, the convener of the Igbo Agenda Dialogue. It's a very serious matter. A lot of things have been said about Igbo. Igbo enwereze, Igbo adekwe. We don't go in the same direction. But do you think that it is now time to have whatever it is, even if it's a simple majority of a path that we want to take? Because everybody wants, most Igbos, I don't know about everybody, but most Igbo people who are living want to see an Igbo president. But there are people who maybe currently in government or connected to government, they think that we should wait. We should help others be president. And then later, we can be president. So at what point do you think that all these discordant tunes can now align as a melodious tune?
Well, I think the first and foremost thing, because Igbo say azotana, azobote. Igbo say again, ebutu ofu achara, azodoyoko. What faces us now is to arouse the Igbo political consciousness such that they will wake up and participate in the process. If Igbo people come out to register and not just register, come out to exercise their franchise during elections, I tell you that the average Igbo man is so rational that it doesn't require much persuasion to know who to vote for. So for that reason, we have given ourselves targets. And that is part of the message we are taking to all over the country and abroad. Because why I say abroad is that those abroad influence their beneficiaries in Nigeria on how they should go. And these beneficiaries respect their benefactors more than whatever you can say on the soapbox.
Because once you give somebody money, you can tell them what to do.
Of course. So we will take the campaign also to the area, to the diaspora. And so when we have given ourselves this target, if we were able to register 11.5 million voters in 2023, we should be able to register at least 20 million registered voters before 2027 election, because more of our children have reached voting age. We have more people now than 2023. I've already given the statistics of Igbo presence across the country. We're also giving ourselves the target of a moderate 15 million aggregate votes from the rest of Nigeria. That gives you 35 million block votes. If we have that 50% of that number participate in an election, we will produce president, or we will determine who becomes president. So that is why we are starting from the basic. But luckily, we are not short of presidential aspirants at this time. If we didn't have presidential aspirants, it would be a different thing. For those who said we should wait, may God forgive them for their iniquity against Igbo people. Wait for who? Did we wait? We were the ones that told those who wanted to wait before Nigeria will get independent to come out at the time of independence has reached. And we got it in 1960. We are the ones that we went to our kith and kin in the Midwestern region and told them and supported them to have a state, a region of their own. A Midwestern region was created by our own support and instrumentality. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe ran for president and led us into an accord in the Second Republic. Dimodome Ojukwu flew the flag of ABGA, By the grace of God, I am the one that founded ABGA. By the grace of God, I am the one that single-handedly raised his hand as presidential candidate and fenced off all those who are sponsored to come and defeat him at our primaries. And he mobilized the Igbo so much that ABGA won Suleja Federal Constituency without a candidate. Suleja is in Niger State in 2003. ABGA won Amowodofin Federal Constituency without a candidate. ABGA won Ojo Federal Constituency in Lagos without a candidate. Because at that time, once a party is listed for an election, it does no longer matter whether you have a candidate or not. It is that party that you are voting for, and the votes will count for that party. But if there is no candidate, the person coming second takes over. That was why we didn't take those seats. So how can we now come now that our confidence and courage should be increasing? Some people will say that we should wait. Do you know that when we founded ABGA, we had a policy that we will not zone that presidential ticket outside of Southeast until it was actualized? That will be nothing like rotation. That was the policy of ABGA. But incidentally, the only person that benefited from that policy was Dimodume Gojuku. Those who hijacked it continue to use it to either endorse one person elsewhere or the other, or not even participate at all. They will have reached to this deplorable state that some of our leaders who are even benefiting from that same ABGA platform open their mouth and say it's not yet our turn, we have to wait. Wait for who? So I pray that we will first of all arouse our people's consciousness, and this idea of waiting may not go beyond this 2027. We are going for as long as God will give us somebody to fly the flag. I believe we will make the difference.
All right. This is Straight Talk here on After Radio 99.3 FM. We'll take some calls now. We'll call us on 0911 6993 993. 0911 6993 993. Still have in the studio our special guest, Chief Chekwas Okorie, Ojo. He is the convener of IAD. And I forgot to add that he is also the founder of ABGA. The ABGA you all know now, before everything he explained happened. And of course, you call us and keep your comments short so others can also be a part of it. Hello, good morning.
Alex, good morning, sir.
Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
Mr. Okechukwu from Agba Road. Ojo Igbo, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Ojo Igbo, good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
Chief, I don't know how to thank you. Dude, I'm really sorry. Do you know, if you know my age, you shudder. Yes, all these things you are saying, do you know I don't know them? There is need for people to be enlightened, though. If at my age, I don't know most of those things you are saying, I wonder what will even happen to the younger ones like Alex and the rest of them. Oh, good God. There is need for us to be enlightened, though. God bless you.
Thank you.
If it is possible for you to go around in other radio stations, that will be a very good one indeed.
Thank you.
To be frank, in my own opinion, there was somebody who came to one of the radio stations the other time and said how you people had wanted Biafra and wanted to use the legal means, which is the most appropriate, without using gun or whatever, shedding any single blood. If that is possible, I will stay to that line. But more importantly, I'm going to canvass seriously for people to register and make sure that they do. God bless you.
God bless you. Thank
God
you.
bless you.
Amen.
Bye.
Thank you.
Keep it short.
Thank you. 0911 6993 993. That's the number to call us to be part of the program. And we'll make a contribution because we're asking for opinions on how Nig Want can forge ahead without lagging behind and without sidestepping to what's not important. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
My name is Johnson. I'm calling from the city of Olobo.
Johnson, you're welcome.
Yes, my brother in the studio, God will certainly bless you, Chekwas Okorie.
Thank you.
You're a true Igbo man. And to have 50 people that have your thinking about the people of Igbo race, it wouldn't be like this for us. When those called leaders of Igbos want to throw a little meat outside for them, they'll forget everything they're supposed to be doing to shape their place and start scrambling for the meat. And after eating the meat, what next? Those that are in government today asking the Igbo people to wait, it's not yet our turn. Must it be you before it gets our turn? That is the question. Must you be the one before it gets our turn? I love what Chief Okorie has exposed me to this morning. The number of votes we gave to President Goodluck Jonathan. And when our brother stood for an election, they said he hadn't steady structure. And he made the greatest wave in this country called Nigeria. And if not for the glitches INEC told us we had, after all the investments made in INEC for them to produce the best of results for Nigeria, all the trust Nigerian youth gave INEC, all the trust the Nigerian women, 70% of Nigerian population gave to INEC, that election is going to be the best of elections. They told us about glitches. Our brothers in government today went to their home and started sleeping. Because I think they rallied around people and said, no, before the glitches, what do you have in that supporter? We couldn't have been telling a different story today. But I pray God preserve Chief Chekwas Okorie, because if anything happens to you now, the place will collapse.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. This is Straight Talk. Yeah, Afsha Radio 99.3 FM. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning, my brother.
What's the name and location?
Yes, my name is Sapi. I'm calling from the name Community School Camp.
You're welcome.
Let me tell you, I'm great to hear from our chairman. Let me tell you, it has been a long time. We've been expecting such. Please, you have given us a history of life. Everybody who is a wise man and Igbo is more especially. Pay attention to you this morning. Even I encourage circulate this news every radio station in Enugu. But I want to ask, are you still in Apuga? Because we can see Apuga is still running helter skelter. Look at what they are saying, that they should declare the seat of Abaribe vacancy. Are you still in Apuga? That's my own question that you shall remain long life.
I don't know. Thank you. He will answer that at the right time. 0911 6993 993 0911 6993 993. Ojozindibu, are you still in APGA?
No, but I am still the founder of APGA because I was never a former founder. But in order to drive this gender dialogue, which is a non-partisan socio-political organization of the Igbo people, it was necessary for me to disengage from partisanship. Because under the IAD, we have Igbo people who belong to all the political parties. So if I still remain in APGA, everything I say will be seen from that prism of partisanship. And so I have voluntarily withdrawn, but I remain the founder. Like I said, there's never a former founder.
Thank you for answering the question. Short and simple. I'm sure he was hoping to get this and that. It was as simple as. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Alex.
What's your name and location?
Good. I'm Engineer Bright calling you from Convener.
Yes, Engineer Bright. I'm sure this is not how you sound normally. Wake it up. This is
my voice.
But it was too calm. Come on. We need to hear you. Yes, we can. Go ahead.
I want to thank our guests.
Thank you.
Happy Easter to everybody. A lot has been happening to our people down here. Like someone like me, I grew up in the north. But when I came down here, I discovered that there is this thing some of us who came down from the north normally say that. I would not like to say it on air anyway. let it be confidential. But yeah, I know forever also. But if someone like this, like Mr. Chekwas Okorie, if you are really an Igbo man and you listen to him, you know that yes, there is hope for the Igbos because we thought that all hope has lost. But I want to plead to others who have given up to still believe that yes, there is still a place for us. Be cool. If any men are need, if you choose also on board of on the mind because just like what Johnson said, he took program and that is what chief look at what happened to Imo State when you better fought. That I will be first. Why can oil on our man election and keep put a rap correction? Look at what is happening in Amateur community. The governor came out to tell his people that they will know where we stand. This is people doing themselves. People, Kaimaka is more in night. Let me rest my case. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
0911-6993-993. 0911-6993-993. That's the number to call us on here. Hello. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
Yes. Good morning, Alex.
You're welcome.
Yes, I'm Mrs. Okorie. I'm calling from Enugu.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Mrs. Okorie, calling from Enugu.
No.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Yes. I want to thank Ojozi for this thing. You know, we have known him for having Igbos attacked a very long time. But you know, in this in Nigeria, as the way we pray our politics, especially in Igbo. But that's by the way. I want to commend him for coming out once again to canvass for the right, or to do the right conversion. Because I believe that no matter how we see ourselves, at the end of the day, somebody has to throw himself into the lane. And the right conversions like this should be done for us to redeem ourselves. Because if we continue the way, and even especially the way those who think that they are benefiting, or those who are benefiting, if you give them chance, they will keep dipping the evils in the deep ocean. And at the end of the day, anything that they could have really found themselves in power again, they will start crying at evils. I mean, that today they are not seeing the marginalization.
All right.
So I want to thank him and ask him to please keep on the good. I know about the program.
Thank you.
Especially next 2 days, they are at the Janet Hotel. I will be there by his grace.
Thank you.
So I will canvas for more people to be here. I'm aware of it. So let him continue. Thank you, sir.
We'll take one more call and then we'll come back and have the final thoughts of Ojozi in Igbo. 0911-6993-993. 0911-6993-993. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Alex Ogbodo, my in-law.
Yes, I have lots of in-laws. Good morning to you. What's your name and location?
Mazi Lakombe is my name.
Mazi, no.
Mazi Lakombe. I'm Chekwas Okorie.
Thank you.
Referendum president.
So how will give you a referendum? How do you think you accomplish a referendum? Is it like the current constitution? Does it give you a pathway to that?
When all of us, especially those Southeastern senators, stood up in the House of Assembly and said that they will not go in the participate in anything they are doing and get the ask for the chamber. If the Nigerian government will not put mouth on it, the Nigerian community will look into it very well. But to those guys, I don't think they have something in mind. It's a sign of protest as well.
Yes.
Then you as well, being optimistic by sitting at home, maybe make it mandatory. All the post offices will be going to lock down once in a month or once in a week. It's a sign of protest as well. Then they have no option.
You have to take advantage of your low-hanging fruits.
Yes, you have to
you
take
have
that.
to get to the point where you can influence policy and law.
Yes, I know, but they cannot allow you. They will not allow you to emerge to that step.
You don't have to hurt your eye to spite your nose.
No. Why not listen? They will not allow
so
you to
you know what?
level.
You come to the dialogue. You come to the dialogue. Eh?
They
And
won't
make your
allow you
point.
to reach that level.
No,
If
we are not listening to this conversation properly. That's just the challenge I have sometimes. We're having a conversation here that is taking us to something. So my understanding is that maybe our contributions should tailor to the conversation we are having instead of subliminally. You are subliminally inflammatory.
Let me ask you.
So we're out of time. I'm sorry, but we're out of time.
Let me just ask you, just 10 seconds.
No, I don't answer questions here. I do not answer questions.
It's your destiny I'm asking.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking.
Please go ahead.
How can we emerge as a president? How can Igbo man emerge as a president?
Right. He will answer that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, Ojo Zindibo. First of all, when is the agenda dialogue starting? Ọtụtụ ndị ga na-ege ntị ka ha marụ ka ha ga-esi wee sonye, how they will join the mkparịta ụka a ga-akpa maka otu ọ ga-esidele ndị Igbo mma. Instead of us, everybody saying what they think, but people need to think through the suggestions they are putting on the table, knowing that someone will need to implement them.
Exactly.
I can't, because of the way I'm feeling now, I'll say, okay, let's break everybody's head.
Yes.
And then we finish breaking everybody's head. The same person, because he's no longer feeling that way, says, why did they break everybody's head? We could have just dialogued. So, Kereka Gesimia, Ndi Cholo Isonye, Kereka Gesisonye.
Well, the Igbo agenda dialogue, the way we've decided to organize it, because the Igbo people have so many organizations, uncountable number of them. We should say that we'll develop the dialogue into what we call Igbo political grid, just like power electricity grid, and link up all the entire network of Igbo organizations as much as we can, and be interacting with them. Right now, as we speak, we are up and running in about 7 social media platforms. And at the dialogue on Wednesday, we are going to share these links there. I heard our brother what he said. Right now in the National Assembly, if I say who is the one senator, Igbo senator, anybody can rely on that is so dependable, 90% will mention the same name. If I say in the House of Rep, who is the one that is so dependable, again another 90% will say the same name. So what does that tell us? What it tells us is that we have to elect people like that to the State Assembly, to the Federal House of Representatives, and to the Senate. We don't just expect that the people who were sponsored or rigged into positions will go to the Senate and come to a consensus to give you what you are looking for without clearing with their masters. But if you are their master through your vote, of course they will do what you want to do, what you want them to do. Again, you raised an issue. Is referendum in our constitution? No. What is in our constitution is a referendum or plebiscite to create states, or referendum or plebiscite to recall somebody who is not doing well. But to decide whether you be in or out of Nigeria is not there. But I tell you, in the constitution of Ethiopia, the Ethiopia has a provision for exit. They have an exit clause.
You know what? Just to tell the listener, because we're out of time.
Yes.
You join Ojo Zindibo on Afia TV.
Yes.
At 7 p.m. We will have more time.
Wonderful.
We'll have more time to discuss and expand on these issues. 7 p.m. Channel 254 on DSTV, Channel 17 on GoTV, and 748 on Free TV. We'll be streaming on afiatv.net. So you join us We'll have a longer talk time at that time. I have to thank you so much, Ojozen Igbo, Chief Chekwas Okorie, convener of Igbo Agenda Dialogue.
Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you so much.
That's the straight talk for this morning. Until then, take care of yourselves and each other. God knows.
We're out of time.